A new game mode? Good news? Ubisoft, what is going on? If this was April Fool's Day, I would be just closing down my socials and not believing any of it. What's up, agents? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into a huge amount of news we've got coming out of the third quarterly report from Ubisoft. I will link it down below so you can check it out yourself, because there is some stuff in here I have no idea what it's talking about, but I have got some other articles to show you a little bit later that give us some more information from people much more knowledgeable than me. But we're going to start off right at the top here, where we can see net bookings for the first 9 months of the fiscal 25-26 year. And what you can see here, they're at 1.1 billion euros, but they're up 18%. Now, who would have ever thought Ubisoft and earnings would be green? After all of the months and years of pain these guys have had, redundancies, the share price tanking, things going wrong, is this new plan that they've been putting in place for the last kind of 6 months to a year finally going to happen? It'll show us that plan again. It reinforces it a little bit further down, and we will kind of briefly skip over it just in case you're unaware of what that plan is. But it's been nothing but bad news, right? Especially when you see, you know, people who work, you know, massive or as part of the Division franchise. I follow a lot of these developers and people that work there, and it's been nothing but sad news for these guys for months and months and months. So it is good to finally see some, hopefully, light at the end of the tunnel. But we're going to go scroll down here, and you can see just a little bit that Rainbow Six, Anno, Avatar all gets mentioned here. Assassin's Creed overperformance with session days up 28% year on year, meaning that people are actually playing it more, 28% more every year, which is huge, right? It's absolutely huge, and I think that franchise is in a good place. I think Shadows didn't particularly do too well forthcoming, but I think once it actually came out, I think it actually did really, really well. It was a good game. I get there was a lot of lore issues and stuff and things like that, but the game itself was solid. It was a good entry to the franchise if you actually played it. Avatar, again, you know, wasn't groundbreaking, wasn't, you know, anything spectacular, which you would expect, to be honest. You know, from an Avatar franchise, you would expect A+++++. But it was a good game. You know, if you're picking it up on sale, you're not going to be disappointed. Siege continues to do well, and I don't play PAX or Anno 117 at all, but I know it has a very core following. People love it, you know, and I don't really understand the hype between that. But if you do play it, let me know down below in the comments. But you can see here that this was kind of the stuff they talked about previously, the creative houses that they were going to create. Division is in one of them houses. It's been now taken as a priority. They cut a load of games. There are some sad news about, obviously, games being cut over the coming months. They cut a lot of games. But obviously, it's to focus on key franchises, and Division is one of them, which is great. But you can see here, they're going to make further appointments of Creative House key leaders, which is going to start in March, so about 2 weeks away. And this includes external hires of experienced, respected industry veterans. So I wonder what they're cooking there. You can imagine if these are leading industry veterans, like they are saying, that there's already talks in place for these. They must have a good idea of who they're going to bring in. You know, what franchises are these people going to be from? You know, what experience are they going to be from? And this is only good news. Bringing in people that have done well with other franchises, you know, and especially where it says respected industry veterans, you know, what people are willing to jump on board with Ubisoft's vision after such a, you know, what we could say is a downfall over the previous years, from such a high, you know, when we were getting Far Cry, when we were getting Assassin's Creed, when we were getting Division 1 and 2. You know, Ubisoft was very much at a peak when it came to companies developing and bringing out games, and, you know, it has been a downfall, unfortunately, over the last years. So, you know, that obviously means, you know, respective veterans having to put their reputation on the line to potentially come over to these franchises and want to make a difference. But, you know, when something has dropped so low, is the only way back up? I'm kind of hoping this is the start of that. You know, Division is paramount on the success of Ubisoft. So, you know, Ubisoft does well, you would hope Division does well as well. So that is pretty interesting. But you can see here they talk about the money expected between 1.25 billion and 1.35 billion available to service debt maturities, which is great. You know, get rid of the debt. We love to see it. So it does talk around here. I'm not really going to go over this kind of stuff. This is just company blurb. They talk about the creative houses again, and they plan to deliver high quality games within the next 3 years. I mean, that's, you know, everyone's going to say that we want to create the best quality. I get it. But I guess that what they've done, they kind of just reinforcing the point that they've trimmed down. They've cut a lot of the games they were going to make, which unfortunately led to the redundancies. But, you know, a more focus on core franchises, I guess. But you can see here the net bookings stood at 338 million, above guidance and up by 12% year on year, primarily driven by stronger than expected partnerships and the Assassin's Creed franchise. Back catalogue performance was solid at 297 million, which they do push sales on the back catalogue, so I'm not surprised. During the quarter, and up 11% year on year, again driven by Assassin's Creed, Avatar, and The Division. So now we understand more about the push for the original game, the repackaging into the new version that we just got, the sales for things and stuff and things like that. You know, revenue from The Division is up. So yeah, really good. Console and PC reached 3.34 million stable over the year, which is great, with activity metrics improving throughout the quarter and December up by 3% year on year. Overall, unique activity users stood around 130 million in the calendar year of 2025, highlighting the appeal and strength of the group's portfolio of franchises. So I guess they know, right? They've got some very strong franchises. I don't think Avatar will continue to move forward, but certainly, you know, the only two other franchises standing tall there are The Division and Assassin's Creed. You know, Ubisoft have a lot of other strong franchises. They have Far Cry, they have Just Dance, you know, and these might not be games for you, but they certainly have been very, very year-on-year strong franchises. And for them not to be mentioned and The Division to be mentioned, Division was always the red-headed stepchild that never got mentioned year-on-year. So great to see us finally being mentioned. So it's going to talk about Anno again. It's going to talk about Avatar, where it benefited from the release during the quarter of high quality from the Ashes expansion. So the last expansion obviously did very, very well, which is great for us because that was obviously developed by Massive. And the session days nearly doubling year on year. So that's great. You know, the game's done better from release over time. We've got Rainbow Six Siege being mentioned. And again, a very good year for Assassin's Creed. Division 2 is mentioned here at the bottom. Division 2 continued to grow meaningfully year on year across its active players, engagement, and revenue. This performance was driven by a strong slate of live events and launch of a new season in December. So this season's obviously gone very well, and I think that for us as core players, we would say this has probably been a lesser season for us. We didn't really like the season modifiers too much. The companion didn't really hit. But the fact that even though long-term players have had those thoughts about this season and potentially have dipped out early, performance for newer players has obviously strengthened the franchise at the same time. They've got Rainbow Six Mobile officially getting a release. I believe it's next week or it's just towards the end of the month. I think it's like the 28th of Feb. So that's really good. But then we're going to talk here about Division Resurgence. Developed by Ubisoft Mobile Games in Paris, was confirmed as a faithful mobile adaptation of the long-running and successful Division franchise, following the latest series of live tests in Q3. The game is planned for release in Q4 2025-26, which is, you know, imminent, I guess, and will be taking part in the franchise's 10th anniversary celebrations in March 2026. So, reinforcing the fact that it must be out very soon. And it is weird. We have had no marketing drive, no release date yet. We just know it's going to be out for March. You know, if it's going to take part, it's got to be out by then. Where's the marketing drive for this? I'm very confused. But it says here that will also feature So let's just rewind that, because this is the most important information that we are going to hear from this video, and what you probably heard of the tagline when I started it. But it will be taking part in the franchise's 10th anniversary celebrations in March 2026. That will also feature the launch of a new game mode in The Division 2, alongside the reveal of an ambitious roadmap for the coming year. So this is interesting. Is this game mode realism mode, or is it a new game mode? There's been a lot of rumors circulating online about things that are coming next season. I think primarily from people that dig into the game files, and we're unsure of what that's going to be yet. But are we getting a shock drop brand new game mode coming essentially, very, very soon, before the end of Q4? Or are we talking about realism mode here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think they would mention realism mode as this. It's more of that's more seasonal content. It's not a game mode. Very much feels like Countdown would be. So have we got something huge coming over the coming weeks that we just don't know about? We had all of the hype from the game director online, which we covered in a news video where he put this statement out here, and his replies to everybody were, "Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready." He was really doubling down on the hype for stuff that we don't know about. So I'm pretty excited. I think that potentially we could have something brand new coming very, very soon that we have no idea about. They have not talked about it. And yeah, as well as an ambitious roadmap for the coming year. So is that going to be part of a year 8 announcement? I really hope so. So this is a bit of a recap of the creative houses. You can see here The Division is in with some of my favorite franchises as well, Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon. I really hope this means that we do get a new Splinter Cell game. I think it is time. If anyone's listening that can make this happen, it's time. I think it could be really, really good. So yeah, that is essentially the most exciting news that we can talk about from this report for Division. Anyway, we're going to scroll down. We'll catch some of the other taglines here. They've unveiled an AI experience, which from reports when I dug up online on this, feels like it could be something that could lean into AI teammates, for instance, could come in very useful for the likes of Ghost Recon. So that's pretty interesting. They've actually bought March of Giants from Amazon for a nominal amount. I've never heard of this, but it's a MOBA type game, so that will be interesting to see what that turns into and if that was a clever acquisition or not. We get some sales numbers here. We get the outlook of what they think is going to happen, and then we get all of the usual blurb below. Just looking at the insider gaming stuff here, that basically says very similar to what we've kind of gone over here. It talks about good sales, gives you quotes from the actual report. But what is interesting for me, and I don't know if this is the same for you, none of this information for me came easy to find. When anything bad happens with Ubisoft, it's everywhere. It's all over my feed. We got good information yesterday, and I just happened to look it up because I knew it was the end of the quarter to see what was mentioned. And there's barely anything online. It's pretty crazy. We did get some other rumors yesterday about the games that were cancelled. So we obviously know it was very, very public about the Sands of Time remake getting cancelled. We've got Project Ether as well, but it doesn't look like that was at the Ubisoft Halifax here in the UK. We got Project Pathfinder, previously known as Project U, a World War II extraction shooter. They're stopping support for Assassin's Creed Rebellion, and then Assassin's Creed Singularity, a new mobile Assassin's Creed game, didn't make the cut. The news about Assassin's Creed surging 28% year on year has hit as well, but obviously The anticipated Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake is stalled for now. That's not a good sign. I know this has been seemingly in development for a little while. I was really hoping this was coming out. It's my favourite one of the franchise. So I do hope that this still makes the cut and it doesn't get cut. But obviously, I'd rather a quality title come out rather than ruin my favouritism for that game. And then finishing off with The Division 2's 2026 roadmap is ambitious and includes Resurgence launch. You can see here they talk about exactly what we talked about earlier on before, but they have plans to unveil an ambitious roadmap that includes the launch of The Division. While we don't have a firm release date yet, we know that Division Resurgence is an authentic mobile-first experience and is planned for release between February and April, which makes sense. It just essentially, it's March. That's when the anniversary season is likely to be. So it's got to be within March. We've got the Division Definitive Edition chatter here, which, although, yeah, it wasn't really what anyone was expecting or really what anybody was wanting. It's great for new players, and that's pretty much it. And I'm kind of hoping there's going to be some kind of sale on that over the anniversary season, because I would probably pick it up, because on PC, I played primarily on Xbox back in Division 1 days, and I've got none of that extra content on my PC version. I literally have survival, and that is it. And that's it. They don't really talk about anything else too much here. I don't think they kind of get the gist of what they were really talking about. Us as Division fans did. But yeah, that is going to be it for the video. But really, really good news. I'm just kind of wondering about the whole game mode drop mentioned there, which is pretty crazy. I just don't know. I can't make my mind up. But as always, you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. Help me make my mind up. Are we getting something brand new that we don't know about? Or are they just talking about realism? That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.